Broadcasting live from the Capitol OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this Saturday morning. Yes, I am Seth Merrow, and we'll take you through some racing action for Saturday afternoon and some nice action around the country. Later on, I'll alert you also with the holiday week coming up, a lot of great holiday week action, but Monday and Tuesday tracks. There's some action coming up Monday and Tuesday at Mahoney with the Steel Valley Sprint. That may be one to look at on Monday. Zia Park has a nice stake schedule both days, really. Some state bred stakes on Monday, but then they have the Zia Derby coming up on Tuesday. And also a not Monday, Tuesday track will be running with the cancellation this week out at Del Mar. They have rescheduled. Del Mar will be in action on the Monday. So we'll update you on that also towards the end of the show. But it's that time of year where we're making the transition from, late summer, fall tracks into the late fall, winter tracks. One of those is the Fairgrounds, and they have a nice card today with 3 state-bred stakes. I thought we'd take a look at that. Who better to talk to than Kevin Kilroy? You see him much of the year in the paddock or the pregame and pre-race shows at Churchill, and I was talking to him. I said, didn't I just see you there last weekend? Yes, and he made the quick turnaround, though, to kick things off a couple of days ago at the Fairgrounds for their nice fall-winter meet, and so I thought we'd reach out to Kevin. Good morning.
Seth, good morning. How's it going?
Very good. And yeah, we were talking just before we went on the air, but now I have to get a little more info. Just last weekend, as I'm sitting and doing the show, you were at Churchill. Did you make a drive down?
Oh, I got to take an airplane. Of course, there's no direct flights anywhere from Louisville. There's just not. It's one of the worst things about the city, but flew down. So, I'm here for 3 weeks and get to love life in New Orleans. Anytime they want to send me down here, I'm ready to roll. And Joe K, he wraps things up with the Churchill. He finishes that off, but then he'll be down and taking control of the handicapping and the on-air stuff on December 6th. So I get the Thanksgiving Day car next week, which is amazing, and all this other action. And it's been fun so far, Seth. They've been betting us, which is great. Strong handle, good racing. I think we were averaging 11 entries, including the AE per race. So we're filling up, and I feel very fortunate. We got 3 turf races a day. You don't see that at every track. So I love betting the turf races, and we got that here for sure.
I really enjoy fair. I'm a homer, so we're up here in Saratoga. In the summertime, we broadcast for the backstretch. Saratoga is my favorite season, obviously, but I love winter racing.
Yeah.
Fairgrounds is part of that. I like Tampa. I like Oaklawn, both fun tracks. But Fairgrounds, you have the great 3-year-old trails for the fillies and the boys leading to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks, but you wind up your season the Fairground Oaks and the Louisiana Derby, and they're always important races along the trails for those 3-year-olds on both sides of the aisle, the boys and the girls. And typically those big days feature other divisions, turf and the older divisions. So a lot of great stakes action throughout the season. Really enjoy it. Talk a little bit, though, if people maybe head down themselves. I understand there's been a little bit of refurbishment for the track.
Yeah, we've got some nice little upgrades throughout the track, which is great to see. Any sort of, I always say anything in horse racing is great. Any sort of action, any sort of investment in the sport is welcome, according to my eyes. And Winter Circle looks really good. Just a nice little, improvements in terms of making it nice for taking pictures and all that. I mean, the best thing that they did, though, was just the paddock, just getting the pavers replaced, just a nice, even, soft surface for the horses. That's what matters most to me. And they've got an ultra lounge, though, that where we used to be for our show. Now it's the ultra lounge, which is it's cool. It's sexy. They've got the nice design to it. I can imagine people want to be there and drink and have a good time. And that's the sort of thing I'm seeing from the management, which I appreciated. They want to bring people to the track. It's New Orleans. This is a great place to be. I mean, we gotta just let people know that this is a place to have a great day in New Orleans. Bet ponies all day and hit Bourbon Street at night. And they've got that a little bit more in all the bar areas that have been upgraded. So Yeah. What I always say is once we can start greasing the palms of the concierge at the hotels in the quarter, then we've got it. Then we've got it locked in. You know, I mean, there just should be a bus or something that just brings everybody out here. So we'll get there one day, I hope. But I like the direction that things are going in terms of what they've been doing.
I got down. It's been a while now since I made my trip to Fairgrounds, but I really enjoyed it. And I wound up. I was on my way down to Florida from. I have a sister who lives in Arkansas, so I did a visit to Oaklawn and then an overnight drive down to Fairgrounds. And I liked it so much I stayed an extra day because I had to partake of the food and whatnot as well. So it was a lot. And then I made a Bourbon Street stop and I parked. I don't know, probably a few blocks away. And I'm walking along and I'm thinking, this isn't that exciting. And I turned the corner and there it was. And okay.
There it was, right?
Now I get it. It's like a block away. It's dark. And then you turn the corner and you're on Bourbon Street. You get it. It's definitely.
You parked in the area where you get mugged. That's the mugging part of French Quarter. And then you found the partying part.
Little did I know at the time, but I made it out fine. It was a lot of fun. There's no question about it. There's also been, I understand, a change to the pick six down there.
Yeah, so if you've been following the Churchill Ellis Park pick six, it's the Derby City Six or the Dade County pick six. It's the same structure as that. We're calling it the Crescent City Six. What a perfect name for it. And it's a structure where there's a jackpot provision, right? Where every day it gets paid out. So 90% of the pool gets paid out when there's multiple winners. Obviously, if there's one winner, they get it all, just like a typical deal. But 10% each day goes to the next day as a carryover. So, that jackpot provision is there. If you are the one ticket, you get that, all that's bet into it that day, plus that carryover that's been rolling and building throughout. I think it's cool. I mean, it's a 15% takeout. So you can kind of think of it as 25% takeout with that in there, but it adds more money to it. The dollar pick six that we've been doing, we just weren't getting a ton of action on it. Yeah. Already I'm seeing we've got a $6,000 carryover 3 days in. And it's just, when there's big money in there, it attracts a lot of money and it's an opportunity to get a piece. It's a 20-cent minimum, which is fun. I mean, for anybody who just likes to build some crazy tickets, take a swing at a small dollar price. You can do that. You can also find your singles. I like to find two and then hit the all button once, twice, and it doesn't get too expensive. So you can always take a shot at the chaos with that. So I like it, and I think it's going to be a really good addition to the betting menu.
Yeah, I think it was a nice change. The increment, first of all, but Churchill's been doing that kind of tweaked jackpot play with the majority goes out every day, and I like that, and I think it's been popular there, so I'm sure it'll be popular down in New Orleans as well. Before we get into the three stakes today, let's just hit on the human side of things, because I pulled up, the standings from the end of the season last year. Joe Sharp back to defend his title. He was a pretty clear winner last year with 40 wins last season over Brad Cox with 31, Shane Wilson with 27, Brett Calhoun 25, Steve Esmerson, Cherie DeVoe down there each with 22. On the jockey side of things, Jose Ortiz arrives down in New Orleans and dominates. 97 wins last year to Loveberry with 55, Ben Curtis 49, Mitchell Morel 41, Brian Hernandez and Pedroza tied with 38. Oh, along with Morales as well last year. And I was looking the first couple of days, Shane Wilson, Joe Sharp tied with 2 apiece. Shane Wilson, I want to say it was not last year, it was 2 years ago, got off to the really fabulous start. He wasn't even on my radar until that, and then I quickly adjusted. So Wilson and Sharp off to an interesting start. Paco Lopez with 4 wins over the first couple of days, and Declan Cannon with 3 wins over the first couple of days. But Jose hasn't arrived yet. Talk a little bit about the trainer-jockey side of things for the meet.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? With Jose dominated, and last year Jose Ortiz got here before the meet started. He was locked in, and he started out to a bang, and it was really cool to watch. It was watching to see him hustle, to see him just try every race, every mount, and just be locked in. He figured out the timing of this track so well. It suits his riding style. And now it's Jose's coming on the 4th. He's waiting for the Kentucky to meet the end. I was talking to him before. He said he wished he was coming down. He loved it down here. He's pumped to be back here. The Paco's here. Paco, he can't ride in other states. He can ride in Louisiana with the HISA being appealed in this state. And Paco, man, he tries every mount, Seth. Yeah. You gotta love him. I watch him so close to Colonial Downs. He's out there. He's a competitive dude. He's working hard. I'm talking to the horseman. I'm getting more of a sense for him. He comes back when he works horses, and he tells them exactly what's going on. You do a little this, you do a little that. This guy can go along, all that sort of stuff. He's such a good horseman himself, and he gives that feedback to all the barns he's riding for. He's a welcome addition. I like that he's here. I think he's going to, obviously have the most wins of any jockey in the year, and he's going to get it done here at Fairgrounds and Delta Downs. He'll be going back and forth. So Paco versus Jose Ortiz is going to be a big battle. It's going to be fun to watch to see who gets the title there. Trainer side of things, Joe Sharp, he's here. He's got horses running at Churchill Downs. He's got some big ones, but he's here. He's on the rail in the mornings at Fairgrounds. This is basically his home track. Rosie used to dominate here, and he was always close behind Brad, and he got that title last year. So he'll be loaded. Shane Wilson's a fantastic horseman that stays mostly in Louisiana, and he does great work. He's got a ton ahead, and he can fill the entries box. So he'll get his for sure. Cherie DeVoe, that barn's just been picking up more and more with their Fairgrounds action. Obviously across the country, across the year, wouldn't be surprised to see them make a dent in it. Who else might be able to take a swing, get a shot? Calhoun, he's always close. He's more worried about making money for the owners than getting the titles. I would know that about Brett, but they're off to a good start too. So it's going to be fun. The Louisiana breds, they get better and better each year. They've got basically the mares they can breed to outside the state stallions every other year and still have all the sort of purse money available to them throughout the year in terms of those runners. So we're seeing a very strong breeding program, and what we saw Marge's Intention win the Black Eyed Susan. She's a lawbred last year. So it's neat, Seth. I think it's really fun. I think the horses are getting better and better every year that I'm here.
Yeah, we have a great state bred program up here in New York, and it's one of a number of states that I think have the state bred programs that have nice big stakes days for the state breds throughout the year. And Louisiana is clearly in that category. You guys down at the Fairgrounds do these kind of days. Today, there's 3 state bred stakes races, but the other Louisiana tracks have the big days as well. So Louisiana breds have the opportunity to take some shots throughout the year. And as I say, today is one of those days. Oh, before we get to these races, what's the weather look like today?
It's nice. We're fast and firm, so we're all good. The track looks good. It's been a little bit deep, but I think we got a little bit of rain, and we got the water track up and going, and it seems like it might even have to touch. The turf's been very forward. We'll see if that continues. I'm not sure if it just kind of didn't have much rain coming into it, and it's playing hard. It seems like it's got some moisture into it, and that's what I'm hearing from jocks, but it's been forward for whatever reason. But we're fast and firm. We've got a little bit of overcast, but it's a beautiful warm day, that's for sure.
Very good. Let's kick it off. The 4th race today. Again, these are all state bred stakes this afternoon, but they're nice. They're fun fields, and that certainly applies to the Caldwell Memorial, race number 4, 6 furlongs the trip. I pulled up a replay of the Acadian at Evangeline back in April. That was the last start for the Joe Sharp trained Fast Flame. So we'll see Fast Flame win here. Win number 3 and start number 6. The question mark, obviously, is the layoff with that one. I thought Blue Fire, that's probably the way I'll tilt in here. Paco Lopez on board for Steve Asmussen. There's a team you don't see too often, but again, with the situation with Paco down at the Fairgrounds, Blue Fire, 4 for 4 on the Fairgrounds strip. Sassy Strutter, also interesting to me. Again, field of 7 entered, but I think it's competitive. How'd you see the Caldwell?
Yeah, I think the rail horse here, Blue Fire, like you're talking about, as well as Secret Faith. 2 neat fillies, 2 very neat fillies. You could see that good second to look forward in the 8 bells for Blue Fire. That was impressive. She was obviously very dangerous winning all those races in the state bred stakes, but to come up to Churchill on Oaks Day and run second to look forward, you knew that the talent was true. My read, I think you kind of have to choose one or the other, right? If you want to make money in this race, either Blue Fire or Secret Faith. And my read is that Secret Faith has a little more recency. a little bit more of that foundation fitness that I can trust. Whereas I thought Blue Fire might just be a work short. So Blue Fire, big time speed, doesn't need it. We saw it last time at Churchill going 7 furlongs. She's going 6 in here. She has the rail. I think she'll get a little bit of pressure by the likes of Fast Flame. And I think that, in terms of the trip to work out, Secret Faith, that she can just have that outside stalking trip. And CJ McMahon is a rider that you want to keep your eyes on throughout the meet. He's improving every year. He's a young rider, and he brings prices home. This won't be a price. JJ Gellner is a fantastic trainer, son of Scott. And, I'm going to go with Secret Faith. And I think if I'm going to play, I'm going to try to play a little bit of a chalk splitter with Sassy Strutter in between. I think her, looking at the sheets, it's an improving 4-year-old that has a big look in here that could maybe come up if, especially if Blue Fire tires just a touch. Have not raced since last May.
Yeah, I mentioned the 1, 2, and the 3, but I had all the notes next to Secret Faith. Most notably, more recency than those inside horses, so that may play out. And yeah, I'm not that familiar with the trainer. I'm guessing that if looking at the PPs here, that's a year-round Louisiana-based trainer.
Yeah, for the most part, he's a very strong horseman. His dad is too, Scott, and they do a great job with 2-year-olds, JJ specifically, and always have big horses. The Secret Faith, she's just been special throughout. She really has been. There's only one Labra that's beat her, and it is Blue Fire. So this is a fun little rematch. They traded some blows. So 9 for 12. She's a winner. She's a very game horse.
Very good. Let's move on to race number 7. It is the Ney Memorial. 6 furlongs the trip here as well. I pulled up a replay of Go Sugar winning over at Delta Downs on October 10th. That one looks strong in here to me. Brendan Walsh comes in, a great season for Brendan, comes in with Smash It. But another one that hasn't been seen for a while, moving out of the barn of Todd Fincher in the Southwest, last seen at Sunland, but that was in February. El De Niro is interesting to me towards the outside, having run a close-up second in this race last year. Again, nice fun field in here. What did you see in the 7th?
Yeah, I mean, Go Sugar is pure speed. He really is. And it's kind of the same setup, one less race than last year, but the same setup, prepping at Delta and coming to Fairgrounds. And he really doesn't like Delta Downs. So he got the win there. And that's, from talking to Keith Bourgeois, he just doesn't like Delta. It's a different track. It's a deeper track. It's that bull ring, et cetera. So this is the track that he loves. He's doing good. I think they figured him out a little bit. When they let him go and he gets loose, he doesn't come back. He's super fast. He's just been in great form. But it was not on Herb, the 8, who beat him in that Gary Palmisano last year, that was able to stay at his hip. I think that's sort of the key. So I think the price will be short on Go Sugar. And I'm with you. I think El De Niro is the one. Pat Devereaux, another strong horseman. J Love up on this one. El De Niro's been great since he was a 2-year-old. He likes it here a ton at Fairgrounds. And, I think he can be the one that is close to him or benefits from the likes of Not on Herb or Smash It, who adds a little bit of pressure to him. So I think the price should be right. I'd love to see 7-2 or higher on the 7. Not on Herb. I think maybe we need one. I don't know. Seeing Paco up here, I think the price is going to be shorter than 9-2. David T. Ray, he kind of took over for Ron Prochet with a lot of these horses. Not on Herb being one of them, and a very good horseman who's had some great successes already this meet. So I think Not on Herb wouldn't surprise me. The question is Smash It. You mentioned it. First start for Walsh. Star Guitar 3-year-old. The half to Slams, who ran the Breeders' Cup. Arrow Smash. Smash Ticket. Really strong siblings. First time racing in Louisiana. Working super sharp. My read is let's maybe just wait to see Smash It race once, but the price might be right to take a swing. I think 8-1 or higher would be worth swinging with Smash It. But I'm going to lean into El De Niro in here. It's hard to find a single in this late 6-5. The 7 might be it. I might just plant my flag with El De Niro.
Yeah, because the meet's just starting, and it looks like a lot of people were kind of sitting and waiting. And so a lot of these in this race, too, and the race we just talked about, are coming off layoffs, and that's always a handicapping puzzle. You can look at the workouts and try to make some decisions, but like Smash It, as you say, started the career in Southern California going against Open Company, and as I say, last couple of races at Sunland, but those were January and February. But now moving in against the state breds, you would think, yeah, there's an edge there, but you have to then parse out, what about the February layoff? So it adds a whole wrinkle to the handicapping puzzle.
Yeah, and I think that form, recent form, it's just 2 turns going longer hasn't been good for Smash It. A sprint form fits in a big way. So, yeah, but training at Keeneland, it looks like we've got enough fitness in the mornings. Everything looks like it's steady. I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't know. It's an interesting read. If this one takes live money early, that would intrigue me, and I might watch to see if that price kind of floated up enough to take a swing with Smash It. If we open up chilly, and then I might say, well, we'll probably need one. So I'll be watching the board with Smash It for the inter-race stuff. And yeah, with the long layoffs, to see that a lot here where the money is better here across the state than the other tracks. So they will save their conditions for fairgrounds. So it's a little bit different with the stakes, of course, but they want to run throughout this meet. It's a 7-day meet. It's a long meet. You want to come in with fresh horses, that's for sure.
Yeah, no question. As I say, that all of that heads into that extra wrinkle in the handicapping puzzle. All right, ninth race today, the L'Oreal Memorial Mile and 70. I wrote at the top of the page, wide open, and this is definitely a fun race. I pulled in a replay 2-back, which is going back to the end of July with Let Mike Figure It Out. This was a nice win over to Evangeline. It was an off-the-turf event, so that's notable. Followed it up with a second in an off-the-turfer the end of August. So, again, a little bit of a layoff there. 1 try over the fairground strip. That was a win. TD's Shining Lucky Star, also interesting to me from the rail, coming in off a couple of nice and improving efforts at Delta. Behemoth Star goes out for the aforementioned Shane Wilson off some kind of duds this summer. But that one has some back numbers that are very good. And at a price with Pago on board, that 4 horse is intriguing to me. What did you see in the L'Oreal, if I'm pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, I think you are. I'm not native to Louisiana, so I always do my best as well. Behemoth Star, I think this is a miss in terms of the morning line. He'll take a good amount of money. Bretland Stables homebred. This is kind of the star of the program right now. Evelyn Benoit. If you look at every time he's raced at fairgrounds, except for that turf one that he got it done at a price, he's been at least less than 4-1. And Shane reminded me, I was talking about Behemoth. I was kind of wondering, like, is he out of form? Is he doing all right? If you're taking the blinkers off, what's going on? He's like, every summer he runs poorly. And if you look, it's true. He just does not run well in the summer. So they still get him out there for some races and all that sort of stuff. And Evelyn does like to campaign her big horses throughout the state and to make everybody proud and all that sort of good stuff. But he'll run his race. He needs to be forward. Even with the blinkers off, he still will be in this race. Absolutely, 100%. I think that number 3, Let Mike Figure It Out, has a very interesting look. I'm a little concerned about the distance. I do think that you brought up good points that we did win against off the turf company, when we were stretching out. He looked like he got touch tired there at the end, facing Seismic Spirit last out, trying to get a mile in the 16th, but he looked good. He was wide, so that could have been a part of it too. I mean, I just saw Devin Mangyong, the jock, and he's pretty excited about this guy. So he seems to be an improving 4-year-old, and that's what you kind of want, especially if you got 8-1. I also think that the Hey Jude is very dangerous. I hated seeing this post, but he looked sensational there on the 16th, doing it easy. When you see a new top from a horse, you kind of wondered, like, did they give it all in that one and they're not going to be able to repeat? He didn't give it all at all. He was not asked, and he romped, and he was wide, and that's not, I don't think, his best distance. I think he's got more to show us in terms of distance. So tough post for Hey Jude, but I think they gelded him since we saw him last spring, and he was always a little bit of a handful, and had some sort of tough trips that he was kind of his own undoing in those trips here we had at fairgrounds. And I think he's relaxed nicely with the gelding, and I think he's got more to show. So I'm going to take a swing with 11 Hey Jude. I do want to be alive to the 3 and the 4. Train. I don't think the pace will heat up enough for the 7 to get it done. Definitely needs a meltdown. The 6, Highland Creek. He's a social runner. He'll run up and he'll get a piece unless he has an easy little pace setup. Sip It On Gin, the Brett Calhoun trainee, he could have more to show us. He looked very good at Ellis. Duke of the Ball is a good one. He ran second to Sir Grayland after that run at Ellis Park, and I thought that was a good effort. That Sip It On Gin. Again, the pace melts down. He could be up the rail to get some of this. Who else can get it done in here? Those are the ones. Possibly Good and Stout has a little bit of a look, but I'm going to go Hey Jude. I'm going to go the 3 and the 4, and I'm going to use Highland Creek and Sip It On Gin underneath.
As I said, a wide open race. I have no arguments with anything you said. Hey Jude, I had check marks next to, but I was questioning the post. But it's Tommy Amos and Maggie Moss, and coming off of that nice win at a short price last time. Did you call Highland Creek a social horse?
Yeah.
So it's one of those that gets up and then just kind of likes to hang with the friends and not go buy them.
Oh, you can see it. He'll make his move.
I love that. I hadn't heard that before.
He'll just kind of stop, and he'll just be like, okay, I made it. Here we are. I caught up. It was funny. I was talking with Neil Peston today. We were just kind of talking, and Darren Ludbury ran by. And Neil looks at him. He says, "I guarantee he's going to stop with Justin Johnsong." And he's running. Yep, he stopped right with Justin Johnsong. And you can see his pace slow up when he got real close. I'm like, that's just like Highland Creek, as he gets up to him, he gets close to his guys, and boom, he's like, all right, I'm here, guys. Let's go. Let's finish. So unless he gets that little perfect setup, and he can finish it off. Otherwise, that's what he does.
I'm stealing that. I never heard that before, but there are some horses that fits them to a T. They just don't want to go by. They want to hang with their buddies. So social horse.
Nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes a good social runner.
I like that. Kevin, appreciate the conversation today. Again, wanted to just do a little meet kickoff for Fairgrounds because I like it, and I know a lot of people like the Fairgrounds meet. And so we're underway. The big day, of course, next Thursday is Thanksgiving is celebrated, and I guess that's a real tradition, Don. I'd love to make it down. I love turkey, so I'd love to make it a turkey dinner at the racetrack. It's like two of my favorite things. So, but we're underway now down at the Fairgrounds, and whenever I talk to you guys, I had Tony on last week talking some Churchill. I'll probably get Joe on next week with the big weekend. But I always say you guys do a great job up at Churchill. I like to tip my cap. The pregame show and the pre-race commentary. To me, you've added some innovations that other tracks have picked up. So you and Caitlin and the other KK was on yesterday. So Tony, you all do a great job up at Churchill. So I wanted to tip my cap there. But enjoy your time down at the Fairgrounds, and we'll be tuned in today. Good luck.
I appreciate it, Seth. Yeah, thanks for turning all your listeners' attention to Fairgrounds, and hopefully we can make some money on this card.
Appreciate it. Kevin Kilroy from the Fairgrounds. Nice stakes card today with some state breds. And again, that Louisiana bred program is very good, and these 3 stakes are a lot of fun this afternoon. All right, I'm looking at my monitor up above, and I was planning to kind of wrap up a little bit early today, and it looks like they're underway. I saw the scratches and changes in New York. So they have an 11:40 post today, so their pregame show will start sooner rather than later. So I'll wrap it up. They're running some promotional stuff now. So I will just remind you before I wrap it up, as I said at the top, with the holiday week, there's some nice Monday, Tuesday action. First of all, Del Mar is in action on Monday. So again, keep that in mind over the weekend. Print up your PPs and maybe take a look at a little Del Mar because they will be in action on Monday to make up for a canceled program. So keep that in mind. But also a couple of regular Monday tracks have interesting day. Monday and Tuesday tracks have some interesting days. Mahoning Valley has their big day of the year with the Mahoning Valley, the Steel Valley Sprint, actually. $300,000 up for grabs, 6 furlongs the trip. And, $300K at Mahoning. It pulls in some notable names. Safi Joseph has Super Tuscan going with Irad Ortiz on board. Comes in off a win 2 back at Saratoga, win last time at Delaware. So Super Tuscan, a player in and amongst the group. I'm just looking. Super Tuscan is 9-2, and the favorite's Guns Loaded. Yeah, no surprise. Jose D'Angelo runner. Hasn't been seen a whole lot since March. Was in the Hutchison, then had 1 start at Churchill, nice win in the middle of September. Comes in off some Bullet Works down at Palm Meadows. So guns loaded, also interesting. But a nice field of 12 entered in the Silver Valley Sprint. And on Tuesday at Zia Park, you have the Zia Derby and the Zia Oaks as well. So again, great action on the holiday, kicking off the holiday week. Del Mar will be in action. Mahoning Valley, Steel Valley Sprint on Monday. And Tuesday, you have the Zia Derby, Zia Oaks as well. All right. I see they're underway at Aqueduct, kicking things off. Again, they have an early post of 11:40, so I'll be back, sooner rather than later with OTB Live for a Saturday morning into the afternoon. But let's wrap it up for Racing Across America. Thanks for tuning in. See you in a few.
Yeah, the one thing that when I even thought for a second and a half about putting him